Okay, people, we're getting into serious territory here. We're getting into true tradition of gourmet cooking with Veal Jus.
So to start out with our veal jus, what we've got our veal bones. These bones are not cooked. What we're gonna do is we're gonna roast these bones for about an hour in a 350-degree oven. Unroasted bones. You've got tomato paste, you've got some peppercorns, you've got fresh thyme, rosemary, parsley, got some bay leaves again, we've got some fresh garlic, carrots, celery, a little bit of leek, and some yellow onion.
Holy cow, chef, this is the most complex dish we've ever made, and this is a sauce.
It's a sauce. We've got lovely roasted bones.
Those look good enough to eat.
As you can see, there's some fat. You really don't want the fat. So we'll pour the fat off. That's what I got this nice little cup right here for. We're gonna pour that fat off. Hopefully these don't fall on me. All right. Lovely roast. You want them just to golden brown. Really don't want burnt. The burnt's gonna give you a bitter flavor. So what we're gonna do with these
Does
bones,
a lot of this roasted smell come from roasting bone? Because this has the most amazing smell too.
Yeah.
Like almost like you smell when you do barbecue.
Mm-hmm. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these bones, because what we wanna do is deglaze this pan. We're gonna take these bones, dump them into your pot. I'm gonna just push that pot back for a second. All this lovely stuff is left back on here. This is called fond. What we want to do is we want to lift that fond. That's more flavor. It's like some of the marrow that might have came out of the bones, some of the blood that came out of the bones. We want that flavor back into our stock. So.
And for any of you that might be curling your nose saying, did he just do that? Oh yeah, I did. And oh yeah, it was good.
Well, we're going to deglaze this with a red wine. Basically, what we're going to try to do is we're going to cook the alcohol out of the wine, and it's going to lift all this beautiful stuff off the pan for us. So, obviously, be careful. A lovely part of alcohol and flame, it'll burn. Actually, we're going to stop right there. What you're going to want to do is take a spoon, take a scraper or something like that, and just slowly pull this stuff off the bottom of the pan. We're going to take this and we're going to pour it into our pan that we got our veal bones in. See how a lot of that came off? This is just a rough chop. You don't have to peel your carrots. I do like to take the tops and the little bottom tips off. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to rough chop these. Drake, if you want, you can grab that onion and that leek and kind of do the same thing. We want them all about the same size, roughly. Not cutting myself. On your typical mirepoix, you usually go 2 to 1. You're gonna go double the onion to your carrots and celery. So 2 onion to your carrot and celery. So we're also gonna wanna roast these to start the flavors coming out. Let those flavors start to bloom in essence. And let's cut up that last leek there.
You're being very illustrative with your language today. Let the flavors begin to bloom.
To bloom.
It's beautiful. You're a beautiful man.
Back. Let's go.
Sorry.
A nice little pan. We're going to take all these and put it on your pan. We're going to roast these in a 350-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. What that's going to do is, like I said, let all those flavors start to release and come out. So basically we'll stick those in the oven over there. And then, due to our lovely television again, here is our roasted vegetables at the end.
What is the red?
The red is tomato paste. Tomato paste we have here, one of our ingredients.
So when we put it in to roast the vegetables, we put that in right away?
No, you're gonna let them roast for about 20 minutes roughly, and then for about 5 minutes more, just rub some tomato paste over the vegetables, put that back in. What that's gonna do is start to cook some of that tomato paste so it's not so raw. You know, that nice raw flavor of tomato? You wanna kind of cook that off. Yeah, smells like a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
It's really nice. We're gonna take our mirepoix, put it into our pot with our veal bones that we've already got in our pot. I'll bring my pot forward once again. Just scrape down into there. You got your nice red wine in there, you got your vegetables, you've got your veal bones in there. We can give this a slight little stir to kind of break that tomato paste up a little bit. We should be good. You can see it turned it a little more tomato red into the liquid.
Beautiful.
Now,
the smells are driving me mad. It's absolutely delicious in here. I could eat you.
I've got probably 20 peppercorns in there. Drop those in. Got 10 cloves of fresh garlic. Get those in there. Got some fresh herbs, some fresh thyme, some rosemary, that parsley, and a couple bay leaves. Just throw them all in whole. No need to chop, no need to do anything with that. So as soon as how we have this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the water to it. As the water goes in, use a cold water. It's gonna cool this down, but it's actually going to allow the flavors of the veal bones and the mirepoix to all come out evenly.
Using cold water?
Cold water.
Unlike the risotto?
Yes, unlike the risotto. And I've got some water back here.
And I'm sure because this is French cooking, it's very fancy water, right, chef? Like Evian?
No.
Perrier?
We got about 2 gallons of water here going in here.
Manitou tap?
Hey! I know.
Is I have a lovely Veal Jus. If you can come up and see this. This is what your product's gonna come out like. And that's about the bubbles. You want a real nice, small bubbles coming up. Basically, that's what they consider a simmer. Small bubbles rolling. You don't want it at a fast, big boil. You just want it to slowly cook. So we're going to actually strain some of this out so you can really get a good vision of this. Trey, you wanna hold that so it doesn't fall over on us? Oops, and I'm spilling this everywhere.
Remember, you like a clean kitchen, chef.
I'm gonna clean up if you watch.
You get a little cranky if it's not clean.
Okay, actually, if you want, let's go like this. Pull that up, put it in here, and we can discard the bones. We're done with that now. You got a garbage can right next to you, Trig? You've got nice brown color. The browning of the bones, the cooking of all this has produced a really nice stock. You can, like Trig said, you can smell the flavors. It's really nice.
But this layer of fat is what you're referring that we're gonna skim off?
Sure, and to skim that off, what you can do is you take a ladle. And if you just set the ladle in there and push like straight down, the oil rises to the top. So it'll come into my ladle. You'll end up getting a little bit of the jus, but for the most part, you'll get the oil off of there. Then you can just discard that. And you just keep going, just kind of move it around until you get the majority of that oil off. So now we can take this Veal Jus, reduce this by 1/3, add a little bit of a roux to it, turn it into the demi.
And those flavors are already so strong, I can't imagine what it's like when it's reduced.
Yeah, it makes it so much more intense, but that's what you're looking for in this final product. You want a nice, intense veal flavor, beef veal flavor. And then what we have here at the end, this is our finished product. This is our Veal Jus. There should be a spoon.
So this is with the roux and the flour?
This is with the roux and the flour at the end.
Or that is roux.
Should be a spoon.
Butter and flour.
Grab that spoon, come on. What you're gonna see is you can get in there, you see a nice thick
So
sauce.
thick,
This
yeah.
is called nappe, when it should just coat the back of the spoon. That's where you wanna be. It's nice, it's not real thick, not too thick. Nappe. Wonderful.
Mappe.
That was...
Well, friends, we learned a lot of French today. We took our veal bones, we used our mirepoix, we made a espagnole, and then we made a veal jus, or jus, as I've been saying my entire life. So we're getting into the real heart of French cooking here, and I hope that some of the purists out there are getting excited that we're starting to touch on some of these subjects. But I assure you, the more you follow along and the more you start cooking at home, you're going to realize that chef's cooking takes all the traditional stuff and blows it out of the water into something completely its own. So please be cooking these dishes at home, be giving us feedback on the blogs, and tune in in 2 weeks for the next episode.